great party, the APC. It is my desire that the House APC caucus will grant me this opportunity and personally led by you during the meeting. While looking forward to hold this audience with you, please accept the assurances of my high regard. I noticed that the chairman has asked that I personally lead the caucus to the meeting. Unfortunately, by virtue of my position here, I have to be seen to be neutral, and that role is specifically that of the leader of the House. So the leader will be leading the caucus to the meeting. And the meeting has been slated, according to the leader, for 3 p.m. today at room 0.28. 0.28. I also have here in front of me a reminder of the meeting tomorrow at Ladi Kwali Hall with the national leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at I think the meeting was fixed for 5, but there's a reminder here. It's for tomorrow, Ladi Kwali Hall, Sheraton Hotel. Yes, caucus leader, please take note. And there's also a meeting. Caucus leader, I believe you're supposed to fix this. A letter from Senator Rochas Okorocha. He also would want to meet with the caucus, the APC caucus. Please kindly schedule a date, hopefully this week, that he can meet with the caucus. Maybe the same day the meeting with, which is today, I believe. That might be too early. I know there's a meeting with the chairman of the party today, on Thursday. Okay. Please, so that we can announce, once you have fixed the date, we can announce it tomorrow. That's a meeting with Senator Rochas Okorocha, who is also aspiring for the ticket of APC. He wants a meeting with the APC caucus. What's that? Honorable Toby, you want a meeting with the PDP caucus? Are you running? Sorry?
When eventually it comes up. Your NWC, when are you having your meeting?
I'm not sure what your business is with the NWC of another party. So we have a lot of caucus meetings with aspirants for chairmanship and presidential aspirants. I have a letter of appreciation from Honorable Dr. Olododo, who is extending his appreciation to the Honorable Speaker, the right to Honorable Hassan Bello Shinkafi, Honorable Yusuf Ahmed Tijani, Honorable Ibrahim Shaba, Honorable Afe Anthony, and Honorable Rashid Olalekon, who found time to honor us with their presence and share with us joyous moments during the wedding Walima ceremony of my son, Ambassador Abdul Kwali Olododo, and his dear wife, Fauziat Bolanle Ishmael. Indeed, their presence added glamour and beauty to the occasion, which I will forever cherish and measure. I also express my sincere appreciation to other colleagues who could not attend, but sent their goodwill messages and prayers for the success of the ceremony. It is my hope and fervent prayer to Almighty God to create more of these avenues and opportunities to congratulate and celebrate ourselves in the days ahead. Once again, I appreciate your continuous support and do accept my warmest regards always. Honorable Dr. S. Abdul Ganiu Cook Olododo. I think those are it for the announcements. Before we go on to the main order paper, I want to thank the Aviation Committee, the Petroleum Committee, and principal officers over the activities in the last couple, their intervention in the last couple of days under the leadership of the Deputy Speaker on the impending aviation crisis. I believe they have been able to come to some concrete resolutions that has hopefully, we believe, should save the industry from imminent collapse. I believe that the report will be tendered today. But DS, if you can just, if you don't mind, if you can just quickly brief the House and possibly the nation for 2 minutes on the resolutions and how everything went.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Ahmed Idris. I represent Waseferi constituency. I think, Your Excellency, the leader of the House has the report. He's the one to present the report. However, on the instruction, because I believe he will do the briefing more before the presentation. First, to appreciate you that though you are outside of the country during this particular time moment for Nigeria, but under your instruction and by your instruction, you asked us to go ahead and first take the motion, which was taken, and then to intervene on the matter. And I would say, I would report to the House that the work was done extremely well, and we have been able to save the country and teeming Nigerian populace from imminent embarrassment of what is being looked as a collapse of the aviation industry. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we appreciate your leadership and guidance, and may God help us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for a job well done. Thank you. Any petitions? Honorable Dediri here. You have a petition. So my guess was right. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and once more, I appreciate the recognition that you always give me. Thank you so much, sir. I am Honorable Haruna Dederi, representing Kala Erogo Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State, sir. I have two petitions from Anti-Corruption and Integrity Forum. It's a registered organization, sir, relating to certain acts constituting abuse of due process. I have one petition, sir, from another registered organization, Conduct and Due Process, for criminal or alleged illegal evasion of certain tax and pension laws. 3 petitions altogether have been duly signed and endorsed. I seek your leave, sir, and the leave of the House to lay the petitions.
You may lay your petitions.
Honorable Dederi, Mr. Speaker, he has only mentioned names of organizations. I beg your indulgence to allow him also name directors of those respective organizations and members of petitioners.
The directors?
Directors in the organizations and the petitioners by their names, not just an organization as such.
The petition is from who?
The petitioners, I mean, all the particulars are engrossed in the petition, sir.
Okay, but the petition is from who? The petition is from who?
To go into the details, sir.
Okay, so the petition is from who? Just the petition. Forget the directors.
Yes, sir.
The petition is from who?
As I have earlier mentioned, sir.
It's from a company.
The petitions, 2 petitions, are from a registered organization.
Oh, that's fine. The committee will unravel.
Exactly, sir. Exactly, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for that protection, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that protection.
Yeah, they're legal entities by law. And if they want to lift the veil, the committee will do that. Are there any other petitions? Alims, please.
On your own.
It's not.
I think it's from there.
Do my own.
Shift the it's on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Ali. I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omala, Lamoro, Federal Constituency. I'm from one of the most peaceful states in this country, Kogi. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from Nigerian Coal Corporation and the entire ex-miners on the refusal of the federal government to pay their retirement dues. I humbly seek the permission of this House to lay this petition before the Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Am I in order?
Thank you. You may lay your petition.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is that it for petitions? No more.
No agree.
All petitions refer to the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable Elumelu, the Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Edmelu, and I represent the good people of our Neto Shimile Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I come order 8, Rule 4 and 7, matter of urgent national importance. Mr. Speaker, last week, we were taken aback when our Nigerians were actually traveling from Lagos to Ibadan. And Mr. Speaker, in the middle of the night, the train stopped. And the excuse that was given was that there was no diesel, or that diesel finished. And this is not the first time that some of these things are happening. And when it happened, it put our citizenry in risk. What is happening now, where people can be shot at or kidnapped, that gives room for that kind of situation. So I feel that this House should look into this matter and even know what happened. Why should there be recklessness on the lives of our citizenry to the extent that a train will stop? Okay, I'm already debating. Sorry. This is my matter of urgent national importance.
Any seconder? Honorable Faleke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is James Abiodun Faleke. I represent Ikeja Federal Constituency. I rise to support the motion ably moved by the Minority Leader. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support that this matter is urgent, please say. You're talking about the breakdown of the train. That should have come under motion or notice now. But we can abort it or proceed. That's a matter. Leader, Chairman, Business and Rules. The great minority leader has a motion on a train that stopped in the middle of nowhere with no diesel. Is that a matter that is appropriately urgent and public or motion on notice?
Obviously, it cannot be too urgent. It has happened, So we put it on notice, please. You should be guided.
Honestly, truly speaking, that is really, it's supposed to be a matter of notice. It's not a matter of urgent. We can't be loosely defining
He is coming up with sinister motives. Please, let him be scheduled.
No, don't impose motive. No. There is no. It is a good motion. It is a good motion. I'm just wondering whether it is urgent public importance. But he has moved. It has been seconded. It is the leader that is entitled to some. But I said that so that members will know. Yes. Toby. No, but I think Honorable Elumelu is aware that it's on notice, but it's part of the tricks of legislative work to smuggle things that are meant to be on notice.
Yes, I know he has no other motives. I withdraw that one, sir.
Okay.
He's a good Samaritan, very good opposition leader, very good, friendly opposition. If not only in recent days that he has started messing up.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. We'll move your motion of the broken down train.
I won't supply again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain honorable to Digoni Delbelu. And I represent the good people of Aniocho Shimili.
It's a very good motion. Very good motion. I know.
I'm from Texas. The House notes that Nigerian Railway Corporation came into existence 112 years ago for the purposes of easy and cheap movement.
Order, please. Please, Chief Whip, call the House to order, please. Silence, please, honorable members. Please. Honorable Elumelu has
Honorable Yunusa, take your seat, please.
Again, let me take it. The House notes that Nigerian Railway Corporation came into existence 112 years ago for the purposes of easy and cheap movement of bulk goods and commuters from hinterlands to seaports and vice versa, and its first rail business activities was commenced with the construction of Lagos-Ibadan rail line. Further note that the agency is under the supervision of the Ministry of Transport. The House is aware that in recent times, there have been a series of media reports of how passenger trains break down in the middle of nowhere for lack of maintenance, thereby subjecting commuters to possible attacks by hoodlums and armed robbers who can brutalize, maim, and cut away hard-earned monies and goods of innocent Nigerians. The House further aware that another sad episode happened on Thursday, the 11th day of March 2022, where a train conveying passengers and goods from Lagos to Ibadan came to a halt midway due to insufficient fuel as alleged, once again endangering the lives of innocent Nigerian travelers on the trip. This House concerned that another of the operational incompetence of the Nigerian Railway Corporation is the issue of tickets racketeering and hoarding to public, thereby undermining government revenue, which inhibit target loan repayment and constitute economic sabotage. The House further concerned that this episode exposes the carelessness and irresponsibility and incompetence of the management of Railway Corporation to effectively and efficiently manage the sector. The House is disturbed that for a train to leave the station with insufficient fuel only to get stuck midway into the journey with traumatized and stranded passengers is a huge national embarrassment, which not only makes our nation a laughingstock in the eyes of the international community, but a complete system failure by Nigerian Railway. Further disturbed that the excuse by one of the officers known as the managing director of Nigerian Railway Corporation is not just laughable, but points to the inability of the management to effectively conduct routine standard operation check, thereby raising serious issues about the safety and reliability of our rail services, which must be seriously investigated. The House is worried that if this irresponsible and careless act by the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Nigeria, just like the First Lady who was conveyed from Kaduna to Abuja, imagine if theirs had also had a halt, will end up losing their lives, hence the need for this motion. The House therefore resolves.
Honorable Nolly, I believe you have a meeting with the aviation minister, right? Yeah. Okay.
The House therefore resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate these inadequacies and report back to the House because of the urgency within 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Elumelu, why are we setting up an ad hoc committee when we have a committee a standing committee that handles railway?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to make it indicting. We'll have a committee, quite agreed, but when an agency is failing in their duty, just like you've just mentioned, not only Chairman Aviation is up and doing, and is going now to tackle the issue of fuel scarcity, aviation fuel scarcity. That is a committee that is up and doing, and they report every interval or quarterly on how aviation issues are being handled. I'm not aware that there have been issues or even seen on electronic media where that committee actually went on the spot assessment to review or oversight what is happening in the railway. Like I said, I don't want to make it seem that I'm indicting our committee that is saddled with the responsibility. But I feel that, and also the MD haven't also come out to insinuate that the committee may be aware. I felt that an independent body that will not be so indicted or so seen to take side should be set up to investigate this matter. But if you think that the House the committee can be given the responsibility, so be it.
I believe that is Honorable Tajuddin Abbas's committee, if I'm correct, and he's a very competent chairman. We don't know what he's doing. It's not everything that a committee does that they bring to the floor. So we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. So I think we should give it to. I don't think the circumstances are enough to send it to an ad hoc committee when we have a standing committee. We have no evidence that the standing committee is not doing anything. I really do. Yeah. So, Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, this motion by the minority leader regarding the need to investigate the Ibadan-Lagos train fuel saga is critical and is important. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I was going to emphasize on why this motion is important and public and why it should be earnestly handled. Reason being that involves the lives of Nigerians. And if prudent and deliberate effort is not made to forestall such situations occurring, our lives and the lives of Nigerians will be exposed. So it is very, very important. And I also appreciate the fact.
I want to just assume that you are seconding and then you've moved on to.
Okay, I thought you said I should.
Yes, because I got a little bit distracted there. Okay. But continue. Let's just assume that you've seconded and the Honorable Elumelu has yielded his time to you. So continue.
Okay, he's moved on and they asked me to go ahead. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hereby second. And I also want to thank the leader of the House for promptly withdrawing his input regarding the motive of the minority leader. That was properly done. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that a train carrying Nigerian passengers left Lagos, a distance of about 80 kilometers, could stop on the way, is indicative of an underlying problem. Mr. Speaker, imagine you are airborne, and suddenly an aircraft has no aviation fuel. Not, I mean, it's just, I say imagine. I didn't say speaker was airborne. So imagine, imagine any Nigerian or passengers are airborne and aviation fuel finishes. Mr. Speaker, a breach of process or an offense is committed by omission or commission.
Mr. Speaker,
If
sir.
you neglect, ignore to do those things you ought to have done, I wouldn't know the kind of management that will make it possible that movement that
Yes.
suddenly diesel finishes.
Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Yes. Please
Point
go
of
ahead.
order.
I'm sure you're coming. And keep quiet attentively.
My name is Honorable Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, in the discharge of my duty as Chief Whip of the House, I want to invoke Order 9, Rule 4.2 to inform the Speaker and the House that Honorable Solomon Bob is not properly dressed. In the House, Honorable Solomon Bob from Rivers State is not properly dressed. Can you stand up for it so that people will cite you whether you are properly dressed or you are not properly dressed? Honorable Solomon Bob is not properly dressed, and therefore he should excuse himself from the floor of the House until when he is properly dressed.
Who is Solomon Bok?
He is not properly dressed.
And Mr. Speaker, sir, the chief people, sir, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, it's working now. Yeah, Honorable Bob, okay, I think the Chief Whip is raising a point of order that you're not properly dressed, and looking at you, I think he's right because you don't have a tie. Yeah.
Let me say, I think the rules permit me to come into chambers, but I cannot speak if I'm not wearing a tie. I wasn't on my feet to say anything. Permit me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm
No,
wrong.
sorry, say that again.
The rules permit me to come into chambers dressed like this, but I cannot, hold on. I cannot make any contributions if I'm dressed like this.
Oh, no, I don't think so. But for clarity, just read out 9.2.
But if you have a medical exemption that exempts you not to wear a tie, you can present that, please.
Let me read the rules. The rule says every member of the House, when he comes into the chamber, shall take his seat and shall at any time stand in any passage of the waist. Then
I want to respond to him first.
No, it's rule 9. I'm coming. It's your rule. I read another order. It says members shall attend the sitting of the House formally dressed. That is rule 2.
Yes, it's about attendance, not about speaking.
Formally dressed.
It's about attendance, not about speaking, whether you speak or not.
Yes.
That's what the rule says. So, Honorable Bob, please
Bob.
approach the Chief Whip.
No, he should quietly exit, or we ask the Sergeant at Arms to enforce that order.
Approach the Chief Whip. You still want to say something? Okay, go ahead.
I didn't make the rules, so I'm not one to argue about the niceties of the rules. So what I want to say is the rules of proper and improper dressing in these chambers, on this floor, have been so flagrantly violated that you don't even know what proper dressing means anymore. I'm sorry. So for this purpose, I've taken the hint and I'll walk away. Thank you. But for the future, we need to also really come to town.
I think you are going out of line.
Please,
I'm not.
Honorable Bob.
You are
With due
not?
respect, I'm not.
I think you are going out of line, and we might have to enforce the
Because
rules
proper
at this
dressing has
point.
no definition. It hasn't got
Proper dressing.
Formal.
It says formal.
precisely.
Formal. Everybody who knows what formal is.
Precisely. I've seen
Those who
lawmakers-
believe that Honorable
And I hope others will take lessons from this experience.
Yes, Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, well, the stoppage due to diesel, the absence of diesel in the rail going from Lagos to Ibadan is indicative of an underlying malaise. It is not just, it's either the diesel is not there, which means the train should not move. If the diesel is there and somebody is negligent not to apply it, is exposing Nigerian citizens to danger. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is very evident that most of the time, most of our people like to build new things. Maintaining existing ones are difficult. So I think that the leader, minority leader, has brought something very, very important. The other time, we had a stoppage of a train from Kaduna due to an ambush. We have had the tracks being vandalized.
Order 9.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues,
Please.
I wouldn't want
Point
a
of order.
situation-
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, Ado Dogwa remains my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the people of Dogwa, Chudunwada Federal Constituency. I thank you for allowing me this leave, Mr. Speaker, to draw the House to Order 9, Rule 2, which has to, Rule 6, which has to do with the procedure of debate, sir. Procedure of debate on the floor. Mr. Speaker, this was a motion that was moved straight ahead by the mover, and the mover also tried to save our legislative time and said it's a straightforward motion. And if anyone is coming to make any contribution, Mr. Speaker, especially a motion that may have to do with investigation, to me, in my opinion, I with due apology, with due regard to the opinion of the chair, that whoever comes up to speak thereafter is either going to preempt the content and the context of the possible investigation to be carried out ultimately, or he's only been dilatory. So on this note, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues and my good brother, I feel the continued debate by Honorable Toby Okechukwu is quite unnecessary, is dilatory, and is not procedural. And we should stop him at this point and please sit down to keep quiet, and we'll just move ahead in order to save our legislative time, Mr. Speaker. Please. Thank you.
Order 9, Rule 6, what page?
Order of debate, sir. Maybe, let me...
What page, please?
Page 53, sir. No, I don't have to read it. What I say, I'm referring members to that order. One is a motion that was moved by an honorable member, specifically the minority leader of the House. And in the course of his presentation of the motion, he intended, which of course is a good move, that he was trying to save our legislative time, and pleaded with members that this is a straightforward motion. And secondly, by procedure, is a motion that is likely to go on investigative procedure process. So for us to continue to debate on a matter that is likely going to be investigative, it will amount to putting the cat before the horse. It will also amount to unnecessary debating on it, and you preempt the intent of the mover of the motion. So I want to say that continued debate by Honorable Toby, which has always been used to, for now, is not only unnecessary, is dilatory, out of relevance, and not in accordance with our procedure of debate. He should therefore be suspended from this further debate and allow this motion to be taken within the intent and the motive of the mover of the motion. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Your argument, Honorable, and the leader of the House is that investigative motions are not meant to be debated. It's pure and simple. That's your argument. I might have to disagree. What I know is that infrastructural motions are not debated. But we debate investigative motions in this House all the time. Let me give you an example. The fact that the mover of a motion says it's straightforward, that's in his own opinion.
Yes.
To other people in the House, it may not be straightforward. In fact, as he has moved with the motion, there may be other people on this floor that want to even oppose his motion. So if we lay a precedence that if somebody brings a motion and it's investigated and all he has to say is that it's straightforward, and then preclude others from speaking, it may be a dangerous precedent, because if somebody wants to speak against it, then he cannot speak against it. If we lay that precedence that you cannot, if it's an investigative motion. I think investigation, more than anything, should even be investigated, it should even be debated before, because investigation is a serious matter. And therefore, when we get to the point where we actually pass a motion for investigation, it must have been debated, and we know that we have something we are actually investigating. That's what I think. Otherwise, maybe if there's somebody, chairman, business and rules, I know you were guided. Can you show me where in our rules we're not allowed to debate?
Mr. Speaker, I stand guided. But my second point is the fact that he's been dilatory. Because this is someone trying to be like a messenger of doom, suggesting a situation which unimaginably could not happen. Giving us stories about an aircraft in the air, that when the fuel runs out, how can you be a messenger of doom? When you are giving examples or instances, give practical examples. So
Mr.
don't
Speaker,
take us into dilatory matters. The example he gave about an aircraft in the air losing fuel or having this thing to crash is like your messenger of doom.
But is it? Whether a message is doom or whatever, the important is it relevant?
It's very irrelevant and been dilatory, very dilatory. Who brought about an aircraft under imagination to lose control and fall down under this protected country of ours?
So maybe you should have used a car.
Yeah, a car or something else, somewhere.
Or a speedboat. You should have used a boat. Is the mode of transportation that he used that you have he could have used a boat, sir, or a ship.
Sir, and you forgot, sir. You also forgot, sorry with due respect, that the motion was not even subjected to voting. This guy went into debate. It was not voted upon.
No, it was voted upon.
It was not voted.
No,
the mover moved the motion. We were waiting for you to put the question and get it carried. And the guy now went into debate.
No, leader. When he moved his motion of urgent public importance and he told us what it was about, we not. It is urgent, and the question was put. Then he now moved the motion, and we don't put the question after that. He just should now.
We didn't put the question to carry it. Yes, sir.
Chairman, business and rules, and I'll give you a right of reply.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think the leader ought to have limited himself to Order 9.6, which says specifically, no dilatory motion should be entertained by the Speaker.
Define dilatory. What is dilatory?
The vote is in his court.
How is this motion? So what you're saying is that no dilatory motion. So what you're saying is that Honorable Elumelu's motion, what you have referred me to, that Honorable Elumelu, not even forget about Honorable Toby, that Honorable Elumelu's motion should not have been allowed because it's dilatory. Because Honorable Toby is not moving a motion. He's only debating a motion.
He was only debating.
He's only debating a motion. So that is that point of order is irrelevant. It should have been addressed to Honorable Elumelu if you consider Elumelu's motion as dilatory.
But you can have dilatory debate. Dilatory.
You have a right of reply. You want to reply? Okay, go ahead. I think the leader is out for you today. I don't know what.
Well, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the Sardana of Rano has been making every effort to make sure that this debate is derailed. But it is very important, Mr. Speaker, that we remain focused. We cannot spend our man hours. Mr. Speaker, regarding rules of debate, we can completely as a parliament alter, change in every way the resolution that he has prayed for. That when you bring matters to light, when things come to much more focus, that is the reason we make amend. You can't so motor. It happened of diesel finishing in a coach is symptomatic of an underlying problem which the House would need to investigate. It's not just the idea. We are not discussing gas. Is there or is not there? But what would have occasioned it is important, Mr. Speaker. And that's what I was trying to bring to the fore. In addition to some other incidences pointing to some level of inefficiency. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, what I believe and strongly is true is that the idea of building, having established new things, is different from maintenance and prudent management. Actually, this motion qualifies for a status inquiry, knowing the amount of money we have borrowed from China to do that rail. And we cannot achieve any level of efficiency or pay back that money when diesel would finish in a coach at middle of nowhere. Apart from exposing our citizens, it also shows that people are cavalier, careless, and don't attach any importance to their job. And that is under a minister. That is under a management. So we are Minister of Transport. We have to hold them responsible. What are the approaches they are making to make sure we pay back these loans? The rails are running at a loss, and suddenly the diesel is finishing in a coach. And we spent some time here discussing dressing, and the leader is
Time
saying
out.
about man
Time
hours.
out.
Mr. Speaker, this motion should be carried, and I amend that there should be a status inquiry on Nigerian Railway Corporation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, who's that? Honorable Abonta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Uzoma Nkima Bonta. Mr. Speaker, I want to share the arguments and sentiments of the Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable Toby, as if they were mine. Mr. Speaker, from all I've heard now, I'm even scared joining train. Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that the train stopped for want of diesel because of the faulty mechanism. If we got train lines after much money, huge money from the Chinese, and it's not functional, then there should be a complete status inquiry. Mr. Speaker, I put it to the House that the diesel couldn't show because the meter remained faulty. Otherwise, the train driver ought to know that he's having a quarter tank or a full tank to make the journey. If the train had no way of knowing the quantity of diesel, it means a faulty train we got. If the driver cannot assess the quantity of diesel that can take him, it means an incompetent driver. So whichever you look at it, there must be a status holistic inquiry of what we have, sir. It is embarrassing to say that a train, Lagos Ibadan bound, will at the middle of the night stop somewhere. Does it mean that the procurement of diesel was not properly done or because of the scarcity? So Nigerians need to know so we can restore the confidence of us joining train. I want to thank you for your ruling that such matter, be it investigative, ought to be debated so that people can now show Nigerians will have confidence listening to our debate, listening to our pattern of our argument, so we can restore confidence. If we lose confidence in the railway system, then we remain debtors for life. I want to move that this motion is not only urgent, but very important to our life, very important to sustenance of Nigeria, very important that business will be resumed. Therefore, I will also, that Sule were inside? No, I don't think of that. My leader is trying to suggest something that Sule people were inside the train going to Ibadan. It's not so. They are Igbos, they are going there to trade. What I want to suggest is that a time frame should be given to the committee or ad hoc or whichever. A time frame. You see the matter we are now in a matter of days, we'll be scrambling for what we used to do then. So a time frame ought to be done to determine what exactly happens that will hold the place for better. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have the. What's the amendment?
My amendment is that the House resolves for a status inquiry on the operations of the Nigerian Railway Corporation and report back to the House in 4 weeks. I so move.
Any second now.
That not only investigating about fuel shortage, there should be a status inquiry on the train or the railway system. I so support.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Abiante.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, Awaji Nombek Dagomie Abiante. I represent Andoni Opobo in Koro Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I come under Order 824 to move for our government to save all of us Nigerians from the recurring hardship of petroleum product scarcity. I think that this is urgent and it is important. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues.
Seconder. Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Fred Oboa, representing the good people of Ogbia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm on my feet to second the motion moved by Abiante. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Chief Whip?
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency, Borno State. Again, Mr. Speaker, in the discharge of my duties, I want to strictly invoke Order 9, Rule 13, and which reads, no member other than a principal officer or the chairman committee on rules and business, unless invited by the speaker, shall approach the speaker when the house is in session. But on matters requiring urgent attention of the speaker, it may be communicated through the chief whip. The operative word here is, if the matter is so urgent that needs speaker's attention, the matter should be communicated through the chief whip, but not approaching the speaker directly. So based on the strict interpretation of this provision of our rules, which is very clear and unambiguous, even the chief whip does not have the discretion to permit or give permission to a member to approach the speaker. The only leeway that these rules gives the chief whip is to collect the communications sought to be relayed to the speaker and relay same to the speaker. So I want members should take note of this clear and unambiguous provision of the Constitution, and henceforth I want to invoke this provision of our rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Olododo, do you agree with that point of order? Honorable Olododo, the Chief Whip just raised a very important point of order. What is your opinion? Do you agree? Before I make my ruling.
Me, Olododo Kugu Abdul Ganiyu, the people of Ilorin East, Ilorin Southern constituency, and from the state of Abuni, Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I second and concur with Chief Whip.
I didn't ask you to second. I asked for you don't second point of order. What I asked you is, what do you think of the point of order? What's your opinion?
I said with the Chief Whip.
Chief Whip, your point of order is sustained. It is in our rules. Honorable Faleke is here.
Honorable Faleke, if it is urgent, communicate through the chief whip. Next time, if it is urgent, Honorable Faleke, communicate through the chief whip.
Okay, so please take note of the Chief Whip's point of order. The rules very clear. Order 9, Rule 30. The only time anyone can approach the chair is if invited by the chair. All other communications, if important, must be channeled through the Chief Whip. There's a reason why it's in our rules. Thank you. Okay, so the ayes have it to Honorable Abiante's motion. Go ahead, move your motion.
The House recalls that exploration for crude oil commenced in Nigeria in 1937, when Shell Yake was granted the sole concessionary rights over the whole territory of the country, and crude oil was first discovered in commercial quantity in Olobri in present-day Bayelsa State in 1956, when the company drilled the first successful well. The House also recalls that in the same year, Shell Yake changed its name to Shell BP Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited and continued its exploration and exploration activities in Nigeria without hindrance. Thus, in 1958, the first cargo of crude oil was shipped precisely in February through the oil tanker Hemisus to Britain. The House recalls that as the economy of the nation grew, demand for petroleum products was met by importation. But shortly after independence, the Shell BP Petroleum Development Company saw an opportunity to meet the products need of the country, and hence embarked on the construction of the very first refinery in the country, the Port Harcourt refinery. The 38,000 barrels per day refinery was completed and commissioned in 1965. The House is aware that the federal government of Nigeria initially acquired 50% shareholding under a participatory agreement with Shell BP, and later increased its shareholding to 60% in 1972, which prompted the refinery to be registered as Nigerian Petroleum Refining Company, NPRC, but it remained as a joint venture company under private sector control and management. The premier refinery was debottlenecked in 1972, and a naphtha catalytic refining unit was added, thus increasing its capacity to 60,000 barrels per day. This House is also aware that the federal government acquired the remaining 40% shares in 1978 under an outright buyout and renamed it the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Refinery, Port Harcourt. It was thereafter fully Nigerianized and came under government control and was manned mainly by professionals recruited from diverse private sector to grow capability for Nigeria to be an active player in the fast-developing oil industry. This House is further aware that in order to meet up with the high demand for refined petroleum products as a result of increasing population and economic activities, the federal government constructed 3 additional refineries, namely the Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company, with a capacity of 125,000 barrels per day, commissioned in 1978. The Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company, with a capacity of 110,000 barrels per day, commissioned in 1980. And the new Port Harcourt Refinery, with a capacity of 150,000 barrels per day, commissioned in 1989. The House observes that the aforementioned refineries have become moribund and obsolete, and in an effort to resuscitate them, the federal government of Nigeria is reported to have spent a whopping $26.5 billion United States of America dollar. My source is the Guardian of 21st March 2021 on the turnaround maintenance, which has not yielded any positive results. According to experts, the amount spent so far on the turnaround maintenance of these moribund refineries is capable of building 3 new refineries of the same size, going by the cost analysis of this project across the world. This House also observed that the whooping sum of $26.5 billion United States dollar wasted on the turnaround maintenance of these moribund refineries should have been used to solve the problems bedeviling other critical sectors: infrastructure, education, health, security, etc., across the country. The House is worried that the non-functioning of these refineries has resulted in the payment of huge subsidies, day in, day out, the importation of what is now known as bad fuel, and the resurgence of long queues at filling stations across the country, which has seriously impacted negatively on the well-being of Nigerians. Further worried that if the moribund refineries remain under the control of the federal government, coupled with the inefficiency of the agencies of government in charge, it will be a great disservice to Nigerians who continue to bear the brunt. Note that during the tenure of President Olusegun Obasanjo, machineries were put in place to commence the process of privatization of this nation's refineries, with a view to ensuring efficiency and to save this country from unnecessary wastage of foreign exchange through turnaround maintenance and several other operating losses. The House further notes that apart from the reported $26.5 billion United States of America dollars, these refineries have in recent years reported operating loss of 778.71 billion naira. The source, Punch, 19th March 2021. Of these critical assets, which can clearly be termed as wasting assets. This House believes that having wasted billions of dollars over the years, the federal government of Nigeria cannot successfully execute the turnaround maintenance of these moribund refineries. Hence, it will be better for the government to seek alternatives with a view to ensuring that these refineries are resuscitated and serve the interests of Nigerians. I did and this House will resolve to urge the federal government of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company to set machineries in motion to either hand over these refineries to international oil companies that will be interested because they are proven to be efficient and effective, or to other competent private organizations with a view to resuscitating them. I also urge the House to mandate the committees on petroleum resources and public procurement to ensure compliance. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable, any seconder? Honorable Rotimi.
Mr. Speaker.
Hello, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, anybody seconding Rotimi, anybody seconding this motion must be able to recapitulate all the issues raised by the mover of the motion, so that he knows what he's doing.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm sure he was paying attention. That's why he was very excited to second it.
Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I rise with every alacrity to second this very important motion. Mr. Speaker, I so second. Even if you want me to debate the motion, I will debate the motion now. Because, Mr. Speaker, can I go ahead to debate the motion? It's seconded.
You have seconded. Sit down. Keep quiet, please.
Let me give it to the clerk. Let me give it to the clerk. Let me give it to the clerk so you can process it. Okay, I don't think, because we've taken so much time. I think Honorable
approach it to
Abiante's, we still have one more motion, a third one, which we are not allowed to take, but we'll have to ask for suspension of the rules if members agree. Honorable Aliu has a motion, but Honorable Abiante's motion, basically your motion is for us to hand over the refineries to foreign international companies. That's what it's about, so that they can get them working if we cannot. That's your, all right. So those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. We have one more, it's already 1 o'clock, but we do have one more motion, which is outside our 2 motions per day to avoid public reporters. No. Is Honorable Aliu here? I don't think he's here. So we'll move on. But before that, there's an announcement here from Honorable Amos Magaji. Notice of the passing away of my father. It is with much sadness that I write to inform you of the passing to glory of my dear father, Elder Abila A. Magaji. Baba was 76 years old and died on March 11, 2022, after a brief illness. We will forever miss his love, humanity, and his simplicity in approaching life's issues. Our family mourns his passing along with a large community of people whom he directly and indirectly affected their lives. This notice also serves as an invitation to his funeral rites, which will take place as follows. Service of songs, March 25th. Venue, Baba Magaji's residence, Kaskurina Street, Federal Housing, Nyanya, Abuja. Time, 4 p.m. Church service, March 26th. Venue, LEA Primary School, Samban Daji, Jaba Local Government, Kaduna State. Time, 10 a.m. Interment follows immediately at the family compound in Sambangida, Jaba Local Government Area, Kaduna State. Looking forward to your kind presence as Baba is laid to rest. Sincerely, Amos Magaji. May his soul rest in peace. Okay, well, honorable colleagues, the clerk is just informing me now that Honorable Aviante, the clerk is just informing me now that there's a motion investigating the same thing, subject matter, that was set up, and the another committee was set up when? 27th of January. Chairman, Business and Rules. That we already have another committee investigating Abiante's motion. Can you look into that, and maybe tomorrow we'll figure out what to do?
Okay, sir.
Just look into it.
Okay.
Abiante, please liaise with them. Yeah. Members, the first business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to upgrade the General Hospital Okigwe to Federal Medical Center Okigwe and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Pascal Obi. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 7 December 2021. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Obi is invited to present the report.
Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Chairman is there to pick it up. The Deputy Chair to the committee.
Where's the Deputy Chair?
He was here and he told me that he was to pick it up. Look at him up there, the other side, sir. Mr. Speaker. On the extreme end, sir.
Dr. Okay.
Use this.
Go ahead. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Dr. Martin Soke. I represent Igbe Titi Uzo and the Federal Constituency. I'm from Enugu State. I'm the Deputy Chairman on the House Committee on Health Institutions. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to upgrade the General Hospital of Kigwe to Federal Medical Center of Kigwe and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, Dr. K. Yes. You may lay the report. You may present it. Have you presented it to the floor? I was distracted. So if you present, hold on a second. If you presented it, we'll just get a second. I think that's where we are. Honorable Kuya, please second. Honorable Kuya, please second. Sorry, your mics are not working. I don't know why your mics are not working.
It's not like this. Okay. Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues, my name remains Ademoni Aliokuya. I represent Shomolu Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. I write to support the adoption of the presentation of reports as made by my colleague, Pascal Obi. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those who support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Please lay the report, Dr. Oki. The second business of the day is presentation of report of the meeting of the leadership of the House of Representatives with airline operators in Nigeria on the need to investigate the sudden scarcity of high cost of aviation fuel, standing in the name of Honorable Al-Hassan Adodogwa. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the leadership on Wednesday, 9th March 2022. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Dogwa is invited to present the report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Al-Hassan Adodogwa is my name, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, I represent the people of Chudunwada, Dogwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise with the leave of the chair and of course the leave of the deputy speaker who was the presiding officer at this meeting, Mr. Speaker. Seek the leave of the House to present this report of a meeting by leadership of the House of Representatives with airline operators and some critical stakeholders in the aviation sector in Nigeria on the need to investigate the sudden scarcity and high cost of aviation fuel as directed by this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, the report of which has 3 critical recommendations. One is that the representatives from Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, NOMAN, Depots and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPPMAN, and Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, should meet within next 3 days and agree on some terms of agreement which we believe is going to address the problem, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. 2, that in the interim that is for the next 3 days, ATK should be sold to airline operators at the rate of 500 naira per liter, and then later switch to the new formula that is agreed upon by stakeholders and airline operators. Third, PC will, as requested, give AON licenses to import petroleum products, particularly ATK, so that they can benchmark the sales from other coast houses. Mr. Speaker, I would like to lay this report.
Minority Leader, please second. Where's the Minority Leader? Oh.
From APC to PDP, yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elwelu, and I represent the good people of Anoche the Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Please lay the report. First order of the day is consolidation of 3 bills. Honorable members may wish to know that the bills are on the same subject matter. And I invite the Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, to move that the bills be consolidated. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Fulata. I represent Borneo, Krika Sama, Budi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, consolidation of 3 bills. A bill for an act to establish Real Estate Regulatory Council of Nigeria to provide efficient...
Honorable Kumo, I've asked the Chief Whip. You are not around when we invoked Order 9, Rule 13. Go and read Order 9, Rule 13.
Minimum standards for the conduct of business...
You are a lawyer, go and read Order 9, Rule 13. I'm reading Honorable Zetti because he is invited by the Speaker.
A bill for an act to establish real estate regulatory framework to regulate and promote the real estate sector and ensure the development, sales, and lease of plot, apartment or building, landed property in a transparent manner and for related matters, HB 1739, and a bill for an act to establish real estate regulations development and for related matters, House Bill 18 96. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
You have been invited by Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Mela, please second.
I'll not be around for tomorrow.
Your Excellency, the Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, Victor Mela Nzaria, I represent the people of Balanga Plenary Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, I'm from Gobi State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Point of order. What was your point of order?
My point of order is regarding the bill that we are seeking consolidation to be part of what we are doing, particularly the bill emanating from Senate. Mr. Speaker, the provision of this bill is contained and endorsed very, very well in the Constitution, and there is it's something on a concurrent, not exclusive, concurrent issue, and to some extent even residual.
It's on the...
It's a matter, it's a subject matter on the concurrent list, and in fact even residual. Particularly the Senate bill is on concurrent list, and again, if you have looked at the case of Attorney General of Lagos State and that of Attorney General of Federation, when it was about town planning, similar to this, Supreme Court said on the matter on the concurrent list, we cannot legislate absolutely on it.
No, I believe we can legislate on a matter that is on the concurrent list. We can legislate on a matter that is on concurrent list. Concurrent means that both the House...
Not it's concurrent.
It's when it's on residual list that we cannot legislate.
It's not residual, it's on concurrent list. To the extent that we will manipulate to look at the bill by the Senate, to the extent that it will be in a manner that all can function. For example, in that matter of Attorney General of Lagos State and that of the Federation, it's also a town planning. We try to legislate, regulating town planning in Nigeria. Supreme Court in their wisdom said, no, we cannot. It must be done in a manner that the states can also have their own, since it's concurrent. And this bill, we seek to consolidate, do that, is done in a manner to take away the concurrent benefit of states. And therefore, I'm afraid if this will suffice.
I think that's something I would want us to interrogate further, and maybe with the Chairman Business and Rules, and maybe Honorable Toby can also, because what you are saying is that maybe there's first of all, if it's concurrent, we can legislate. And then the issue is whether there's a doctrine of covering the field. If there's a piece of legislation that's already covered the field, maybe we cannot. It's called preemption. But I think we should interrogate it further. And if we find that it's unconstitutional what we did, we can come for rescission. Yeah. But concurrently, we can legislate on that. The second order of the day is third reading of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of National Child Protection and Enforcement Agency and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Our members will recall that the House adopted a report of the Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 2nd of March 2022, and now call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill will now read the third time. Leader.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected colleagues, Ado Dogwa remains my name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I represent the people of Dogwa Chudunwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move, Mr. Speaker, that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of National Child Protection and Enforcement Agency and for related matters, HB 288, be read the third time. And if you so permit, Mr. Speaker, with the leave of the House, and in order for us to save our legislative time, I will go ahead with item number 3, 4 on the order paper, Mr. Speaker. And the second being, Mr. Speaker, a bill for an act to amend the Psychiatric Hospitals Management Act, Cap P 334, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to establish Federal Psychiatric Hospital, Budo Egba, Kwara State, provide legal framework for establishment of the psychiatric hospital to facilitate the training of specialist personnel and at all levels, and for related matters, HB 1593 be read the third time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I also rise to move that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Education, Mutumbu, Taraba State, and for related matters, HB 1136 be read the third time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so concurrently move. Thank you.
Honorable Adejari, please second the three motions as moved by the Leader of the House. He moved three motions at the same time to save the time of that because all three are for third reading. So just second that you second the third reading of the three bills.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I still remain Honorable Dr. Samuel Babatunde Adejari. I represent the wonderful, good people of Agege Federal Constituency. I'm proudly Lagosian. Thank you, sir. I rise to second the motion approved by the Majority Leader. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Honorable Lagosoya and Honorable Kuye, please allow Honorable Dr. Adejari to concentrate on the floor. You are distracting him. He sat quietly on his seat, he was following position. Honorable Kuye, you moved from one end, extreme end, to the other to come and disturb him. Honorable Kuye, the Deputy Whip is not here. She's on an assignment. So please come and take over as a temporary Deputy Whip. Please come, Honorable Kuye, come. It's okay there, it's okay. Chief Whip, is he properly dressed? Look at the shoes. Or is he naked?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, to the best of my knowledge of how proper dressing is, he is not properly dressed with his shoes.
Mr. Speaker.
No, you have to wear a shoe like this.
It is matching the cap. It matches the cap. Mr. Speaker, it is matching the cap.
Honorable Adejari, Honorable Kuye, I believe the Chief Whip cannot be wrong, and I believe that those shoes you are wearing, they're meant for jeans. They're meant for jeans, not for native. It's orthopedic. Please, tomorrow when you are coming, you bring a letter from the orthopedic surgeon that these are orthopedic shoes and that you need to wear them. Yeah. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. We just told the Honorable Bob to go and change. You may take your seat. Since we are not sure, since you have said it's orthopedic, for today you may take your seat. Tomorrow, make sure you bring your letter. Chief Whip, please remind us tomorrow for his letter from the surgeon. The minority leader, Odewelumelu, you should not be talking about shoes here, please. I'm sure you know why. So the bills are read for the third time and passed. Fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the National Senior Citizens Center Act 2010. Oh, third reading, sorry. The three bills.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of National Child Protection and Enforcement Agency and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Psychiatric Hospitals Management Board Act, Cap P34, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Federal Psychiatric Hospital Budoeba, Kwara State, provide legal framework for establishment of the Psychiatric Hospital to facilitate the training of specialist personnel at all levels and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Education, Mutumbiu, Taraba State, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bills read the third time and passed. Commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the National Senior Citizens Center Act 2010 to establish citizen centers and old age homes in all the states of the Federation and Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Olanrewaju Ibrahim Kunle. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 24th of November, 2021, and I invite Honorable Ibrahim to move that the bill be now read a second time. Is Honorable Ibrahim here? Try the, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ibrahim, there's an existing Act 2010
Yes, Mr.
for
Speaker.
establishment of old people's homes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And that act is about 10, 12 years old.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
How many homes have been established?
Only one in Abuja.
Wow, it's interesting. Yes. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ibrahim Kunle Olarewaju. I represent the entire people of Moba, Ido-Osi, Ilejimeji Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ekiti State. I rise this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, to move that the bill for an act to amend the National Senior Citizens Act 2010 to establish citizen centers and old age homes in all states of the Federation and Federal Capital Abuja, and for related matters, HB 1733 be read for the second time. Mr. Speaker, I so moved.
Honorable Agusoye, where are you going? No, I just asked where you are going. You don't address from the aisle. Yes, Honorable Agusoye.
The heat here is damn too much. And even in my office, I don't know of other offices, are not feeling too well because of the heat. Mr. Speaker, that's the problem.
Yeah, you do have a point. You do have a point. But in the meantime, you have your order paper there?
My order paper is with me, Mr.
Okay, just use it to fan yourself. We'll soon be done.
But
Mr. Speaker,
that won't be too all right for this kind of sitting when people are looking at us from outside.
No, but you are the only one that is permitted.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes.
And for the reason that you observed that he is the only one, I think he better goes for a COVID test.
Mr. Speaker.
COVID test. He's the only one complaining.
Mr. Speaker, I can understand the leader. The leader, we all know, he has invited me for another, to attend his next wedding ceremony to make his wife fight.
Are you going?
I won't go.
You will not go.
I will not go.
You're on your own, Rotimi.
Already he has 28 children.
We have no 5 wives in Islam.
Already he has 28 children.
We have no 5 wives in Islam.
Why do I have to support that?
Honorable Agusoye, if it's a medical thing, go out there and take some fresh air and come back.
Dr. Sununu, please handle him. Dr. Sununu. Dr. Sununu, Chairman Health. You should go for COVID test immediately.
Baba Ilabe, please second. Baba Ilabe. Baba Ilabe, please second the motion. I didn't mention any name. Baba Ilabe, please second motion. Baba Ilabe, you know yourself. Please.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is James Abiodun Faleke.
So why did you rise to second when I said Baba Ilabe? Why are you called Baba Ilabe?
I just wanted to allude to the fact that you are giving me a new name, and I don't know whether I have to go to the court to make a change.
You do affidavit. You have to go on affidavit.
Yes, exactly.
Affidavit, yes.
So go and show affidavit.
And he has to provide a new ramp for you to slam
For the
down.
benefit of our colleagues who don't understand the language, Baba Ilabe means somebody that likes to enjoy life. So Baba Ilabe, go ahead and second.
Wow, serious.
Thank you, sir. I rise to second the reading of the bill for the second time. I so second. Thank you.
Your name?
I mentioned my name already.
Honorable Olariwaju, let's put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the National Senior Citizen Center Act 2010 to establish citizens centers and old age home in all the states of the Federation and Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and for related matters. Second reading.
It's interesting. Where's Honorable Olariwaju? Which committee handles, when you're talking about old citizens? Women Affairs. But why is it Women Affairs? Because old citizens are both male and female.
Women are still on strike.
Mr. Speaker, when it comes to welfare, old, young, and women, it's usually for Women Affairs, Mr. Speaker.
Interesting. Okay. So we'll refer this committee. The bill is referred to the Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development and Justice. Thank you. Sixth order of the day is a motion on urgent need to regulate the operators of abattoirs in Nigeria, and standing in the name of Honorable Olalekon Rashid Afolabi. Honorable Olalekon is invited to move the motion. Interesting. Operations of abattoirs? Where's Honorable? Okay. Is that within our... Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Rashid Olalekon Afolabi. I represent the entire people of the Federal Dumboripe of the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, based on the advice of some of my senior colleagues on this floor,
I want to apply for this motion to be stepped down for further consultation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right. You are stepping it down? All right, step down. The seventh order of the day is a motion on call to complete the dredging of the Calabar Seaport, standing in the name of Honorable Alex Ebona. I don't see Honorable Alex here. Oh, you moved. You moved your seat. Okay. In the name of Honorable Alex Ebona, Honorable Ebona is invited to move the motion. You are sitting with the Honorable Chinyere. Honorable Chinyere, congratulations on the opening of your TV station. Very well done. Please don't use it for propaganda in River State. Political propaganda, please.
No. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Alex Ebona, Honorable Alex Ebona. I represent Abidjan Federal Constituency from Cross River State. The motion is called to complete the dredging of Calabar Seaport, the house. Know that the Calabar Seaport is the oldest seaport in Nigeria that ships goods like palm oil to Europe and other parts of the world in the 16th century. And slaves, thank you, sorry for the question. Also know that the port was privately operated by various shipping companies, including John until December 1969, when the federal government took over the port facility from the SY operators and vested it on the Nigeria Port Authority. Further note that the development, modernization, and the expansion of the port complex was embarked upon under the third National Development Plan of 1975 to 1980, and commissioned on June 9, 1979 by the military administration under General Olusegun Obasanjo. Recall that the refurbishment of the generated a considerable level of attention and activities, but for questionable reasons, the port have failed to live up to its full potentials. Aware that there have been diverse government proclamation on the dredging of the port, dated back to the administration of General Ibrahim Babangida and General Sani Abacha, but no tangible things have been done to rehabilitate the port. Also aware that in 2006, the then President Olusegun Obasanjo administration awarded the contract for the dredging of the port to Ms. Jonah De Nor and Van Do at the cost of $56 million, but abandoned the project in a protected, moribund state. Further aware that in 2014, former President Goodluck Jonathan initiated the Calabar Channel Management CCM, a joint venture company between Nigeria Port Authority and consortium of companies led by Niger Global Engineering and Technical Company Limited, with the mandate to dredge the port. Concerned that although the CCM was reported to have commenced work, the port is yet to be dredged till today. Concerned that the quick completion of the Calabar port could help the congel Lagos port and reduce...
Leader of the House, please, 1 second.
And reduce the hardship waiting for hours to clear goods. Resolve. Urge the federal government to re-award the contract for the dredging of the Calabar Seaport to a reputable company with the mandate to complete the project within a specified time frame. Also, the Nigeria Port Authority to supervise the project and ensure that standard depth is established to enable larger vessels to bet in line with international best practice. Finally, mandate the Committee on Port and Harbour to investigate the contract awarded in 2006 and 2014, respectively, with a view to ensure that all factors militating against completing the dredging of the Calabar Port are resolved. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Any seconder? Honorable Chinyere. Where is Princess? Go ahead, on the chair.
Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, I am Chinyere Igwe, PhD. Mr. Speaker, I represent Port Harcourt 2 Federal Constituency in this hallowed chamber. Mr. Speaker, I am from River State, senior brother to Cross River State, where the issue in question is. Mr. Speaker, I second the motion as ably moved by my dear brother, Honorable Alex Ubuma. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. You have an amendment? Okay, engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My amendment is on prayer 1. And the amendment is that since there is an existing concession arrangement, okay, I think the first prayer is to determine that concession arrangement before federal government, before we advise federal government to re-award. Because even if we re-award, because of the existing contract on the concession, they won't be able to do anything. So the first step is for us to determine, the concession agreement before we advise federal government to re-award. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ali Taufik Bukani. I represent Mission 1 in Lagos. I rise to second the motion of amendment as moved by Honorable Johnson. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. And those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 8th order of the day is a motion on need to grant automatic employment to first-class graduates standing in the name of Honorable Chinedu Emeka Martins. Honorable Martins is invited to move the motion.
So, Speaker, since Honorable Martins is not on the floor, I move that this motion be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move.
Motion step down. We go to consideration of reports. The 9th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to amend the Obafemi Awolowo University Transitional Provisions Act, Cap A14, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 23rd of September, 2021. The leader will move for its consideration. Leader.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues, Adodogwa remains my name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I represent the good people of Tudunwada, Dogwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Obafemi Awolowo University Transitional Provisions Act, Cap A14, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and for related matters, HB 922, be laid for consideration. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Elder Jerry, can you please second? Elder Jerry.
Yeah. Right, Honorable Speaker. A performing one for that matter. My name is Jerry Alabaso from Imo State. I represent your law, Honorable Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the bill To amend the Performing Level University of the Federal Republic of Nigeria be considered. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Does Honorable Uchiri have a petition before your committee? Because I can see the way he's close marking and disturbing you. Oh, okay. You came to borrow the microphone. Thank you for this, for seconding. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. 10th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to amend the University of Ibadan Act Cap U6 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 23rd September 2021. Leader will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise once again to move that that the House do consider a bill for an act to amend the University of Ibadan Act Cap U6 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and for related matters HB 923. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I therefore move for its consideration.
Honorable Shinkafi. Where is he? Thought I saw him a minute ago. He was. Okay. No, I saw it was Shinkafi I wanted to call. Honorable Nalaraba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My highly respected colleagues, Abubakar Hassan Nalaraba is my name. I represent the good people of Awedo Makiana Federal Constituency. I'm from Nasarawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the House Leader. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 11th order of the day is resumption of consideration of bill of the Committee on Health Institution on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery, Health Sciences, Isiala Mbano, Imo State, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that on Tuesday, 8th March 2022, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered and approved clauses 1 to 3 and deferred further consideration of the report. And I invite Honorable Pascal Obi to move that consideration do resume. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Honorable Pascal Obi is not on the floor unless if the leader can take up the because it has suffered a lot of unnecessary delay. Chairman of the committee is not on the floor. I would like to plead with the leader to take it up because it was under consideration. It was just some few clauses.
It's for resumption of consideration.
Yes. Resumption of consideration. So I plead that the leader take up the challenge and
Chairman business, the leader, the Chairman business has commanded you to move that.
Mr. Speaker, he was pleading through the chair. And I believe I'm rising by the leave of the chair, not by the leave of the bloody chair rules and business. You better belong where God put you. Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise in the absence of the rightful sponsor and mover of this particular item on the order paper, Right Honorable Pascal Obi. I rise by the leave of the Speaker and the House that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Sciences, Isiala Mbano, Imo State, and for related matters, HB 1642, and approve the recommendations therein. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Jaga. Please second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I'm Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Aliru Gondu Jega Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion, ably moved by the leader of the House. I so second.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Leader, can you please move that the House resolves into committee of the whole to consider the reports?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise as directed by the Speaker that this House do move to the committee of the whole to consider reports. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move. Thank you.
Honorable Sada Sori, please second.
Mr. Speaker, I'm Sada Soli, representing GBI Kaita Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the House Leader. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in support of the House resolve to the committee of the whole, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The House has it. The ayes have it. House dissolves the committee of the whole.
Respected colleagues, the first bill to be considered is for an act to amend the Obafemi Awolowo Transitional Provisions Act (CAP) A14 Laws of in Nigeria 2004 and for later matters. I now invite the leader to give the synopsis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My respected colleagues, members of the 9th House of Representatives, I remain Ado Dogwa, representing the good people of Dogwa, Tudumada Federal Constituency. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the bill before us for consideration, which is a bill for an act to amend the Obafemi Awolowo University Act, CAP 02 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, was passed in the last assembly, but was not concurred with by the Senate before the lapse of the last assembly. The bill before us here, therefore, seeks to amend the Obafemi Awolowo University Act to specify the minimum qualification of the chairman of the governing board, governing council, ownership of intellectual property, and to provide for pre-action notice to the university authority. So I want to believe this is a very contextual and very critical amendment that the university would like this House to consider to allow it discharge its responsibility as a full-fledged university and to discharge all functions associated to it by the legal framework of this legislative institution, the House and the Senate as well. Mr. Speaker, I think it's a straightforward bill. I therefore urge members to look at it and give it a very nice and favorable consideration. Thank you, and I beg of honorable attacker not to attack this bill.
Thank you, sir. Clause 1. Clause 2. Clause 3. Clause 4. Clause 5. Explanatory memoranda. Long title. Colleagues, the second bill to consider is for an act to amend the University of Ibadan Act (CAP) U6 Federation of Nigeria 2004 and for later matter. Now invite the leader to give the synopsis of the report.
Thank you. In the same vein, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this is another bill that was passed in the last assembly but was not concurred with by the Senate before the lapse of last session. It is my view, therefore, that this bill seeks to amend the University of Ibadan Act to specify the minimum qualification of the chairman of governing council, ownership of intellectual property, and to provide for free action notice to the university authority. Mr. Speaker, these are two bills that are of same nature, and like I pleaded with members, I think we need to give this bill a speedy passage to be able to allow the institution work effectively in the discharge of their responsibility as an educational institution.
Thank you,
I beg
leader.
of all members to allow this pass, please.
Thank you. Clause 1.
Got it.
Title. Respected colleagues, the report to be considered is that of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery, and Health Sciences. ECI Lambano, Imo State, and Florida. Now invite Pascal Obi, who is not around. I believe there was some corrections that we did ask or clean up, which has been done, I guess. So we just move straight to consideration. Clause 1. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, after the cleaning. Clause 10. '13. Clause 15. Clause 18. 18. Clause 22. 3. Clause 26. Clause 28. 9. Princess, you are not saying carried. I didn't hear your voice. I'm not hearing you. Clause 28. 32. 6. Clause 37. This is your bill. Thank you. Clause 38. Clause 39. Explanatory memoranda. Leader, move that the House do revert to plenary to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much, honorable members, for the patience. I rise to move that this House do revert to plenary to report progress. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I so move.
Whip.
Honorable Chairman, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion that the House do revert to plenary to report progress.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. House is hereby to revert to plenary to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on a bill for an act to amend the Obafemi Awolowo University Transitional Provisions Act, CAP A14, Laws Version of Nigeria 2004, and for legal matters, and approve clauses 1 to 5, the long title, the explanatory memoranda of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on a bill for an act to amend the University of Ibadan Act, CAP U6 Laws Federation Nigeria 2004, and for legal matters, and approve clauses 1 to 6, the long title, the explanatory memoranda of the report. Colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery, and Health Sciences, Isia Laumbano, Imo State, and for legal matters, approved on resumption of the constitution from clauses 4 to 39, the long title, and the explanatory memoranda of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I rise to move that the House to adopt the report as reported by the honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion that the House to adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Once again, a reminder to all APC families and those wishing to join of the meeting. I don't want to say what we're discussing with you behind us.
Mr. Speaker, I think you need to put it in perspective.
No, he knows.
That the APC, the ruling party,
Ruling party. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, the plight is full now. We have no vacancies. We have no vacancies. The plight is full.
Leader, move for
do for the adjournment of the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, while I thank each and every one of you on behalf of the leadership for the patience in the discharge of our constitutional responsibility today, the 14th or 15th, the 15th day of March 2022, Mr. Speaker, I therefore rise to move that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, Wednesday, the 16th day of March 2022 by 11 a.m. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so very respectfully move. Thank you.
Date today? Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I remain Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Martin Munguno, the Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, Wednesday, the 15th of March, 2022.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. House is adjourned to tomorrow, 11 a.m.